Today we're taking on the essential sides without which the turkeys on our Thanksgiving dinner table would just be an elevated and a large roast chicken. We're covering stuffing, a homemade cranberry jam, a gourmet green bean casserole, and a maple and brown sugar sweet potato casserole. Before we dive into the cooking, we would be truly grateful if you could quickly hit the like button to help this video and subscribe to our channel to allow us to get more of this stuff to you. First up on the menu is a simple stuffing recipe that I'm making using this day-old Italian loaf. I'm first going to cut this up into slices just so that it's easier to manage and pull apart rather than me trying to rip a whole loaf of bread. Once we've sliced our bread, simply tear it apart into as big or small pieces as you like. We're just going to roughly tear them and place them on a baking sheet and bake these in a low oven at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour. The idea is to evaporate as much moisture as possible without burning them. While that's happening, grab a pan and melt half a stick of butter, to which we will be adding 1 chopped up yellow onion and 2 sticks of celery. You want to cook these till they're just soft and translucent, avoiding any browning. Season with some salt to help them get going and some freshly ground black pepper. Then throw in 2 crushed cloves of garlic and cook for a couple of more minutes and then set them aside for now. Meanwhile, my bread is out of the oven and they have developed that slightly crisp exterior. Move all of this into a large bowl in which we will be adding all of our ingredients and mixing. Next, dump in all of your celery and onions directly into this bowl. Now add in some roughly chopped sage and parsley, followed by a cup and a half of milk. Season with some salt and some freshly ground black pepper and give this all a stir to combine, ensuring each piece of the bread has absorbed the milk. Now beat up 2 eggs in a separate jar or bowl and add it into the bread. Give this one final mix to coat the bread with the eggs and then simply transfer this to a well-buttered casserole dish. Finally, to elevate the flavor, I'm going against tradition here, add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese all over the top. Then cover it with the foil and this goes into a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven for 20 to 25 minutes, after which you're going to pull it out, take off the cover and put it back in for an additional 10 minutes uncovered. Now you can let your imagination run wild with this, you can add sausages, bacon, whatever you like into it, but let this be your base canvas on which you can build. Next, let's make a cranberry jam that isn't canned and just another utensil that no one touches on your dining table. Grab a pan and place it on low heat, add 150 grams of sugar into it. Now add in 2 pods of star anise and 4 cloves of cardamom that I'm going to break and get the seeds out to extract as much flavor as I can. Now do not touch or stir this, it will take 10 minutes to melt but don't touch it. We're forming a caramel before adding our cranberries in. And after 10 minutes, this is what it looks like, and at which point it's ready for 150 grams of cranberries. A little bit of salt to help these cranberries cook and release their moisture. Give them a stir to get them coated with the caramel and homogenize. Let this cook on low for about 10 to 15 minutes and you'll see the cranberries naturally disintegrate. At this point, we're going to add the zest of 1 whole lemon and the juice of the lemon too. Give this a quick stir, and if you like your jelly chunky like I do, leave it at this. Pour it into a serving bowl or a jar and you're ready to go. But if you like it pureed, simply blend it after it cools down a little bit. Moving on to our next dish, which is a sweet potato casserole, which is just like any other dessert on your Thanksgiving plate if I'm being honest. Simply peel these gorgeous yams and we're going to cut them into fairly thick half-inch slices. Now let's make a brown sugar maple butter. In a jar, add 1 stick of butter and half a cup of brown sugar, and then half a cup of maple syrup. Heat this in your microwave in blasts of 30 seconds till the butter has melted. Add all of your potatoes to a casserole dish and give your butter, sugar and maple mix a quick whisk for all the flavors to combine before pouring it over the yams directly into the casserole dish. Again, a little helping of salt, followed by a generous dose of ground nutmeg. Feel free to add cinnamon to this, but I'm probably the only one I know of who hates cinnamon, so I did leave it out. But by all means, go ahead and add it if you like it in. Give this a quick stir with a spatula, covering all of your yams in the buttery maple goodness. Cover with the lid and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Then uncover and cook for another 15 to 20 minutes. Lastly, let's move on to my favorite side dish for Thanksgiving, the green bean casserole. And this recipe begins with a very mean fried onions recipe for our green beans. Slice 2 yellow onions extremely thin, ideally using a mandolin. Transfer your onions to a bowl, and we're going to drown these in 3 cups of buttermilk. Cover and set these aside for 15 minutes and allow the buttermilk to do its thing while we form our dredging station. Simply add 2 cups of flour into a plate and season with 1 teaspoon of salt and garlic powder, and give it a quick whisk to distribute. Then grab some of your onions and place them into the plate of flour and give them a toss with the dredge, and then set them aside in another plate. In hindsight, I should have done this in a Ziploc bag and simply given them a shake, but hey, lesson learned. Heat up your oil to 375 degrees Fahrenheit and fry your onions in batches till they're golden brown, which should take roughly 7 to 8 minutes. Once your onions are fried and golden, place them into a plate lined with paper towels to soak the excess oil and set them aside. We're now going to make a killer creamy mushroom soup for our casserole, full of that fancy flambeing and stuff. Grab 1.5 pounds of mushrooms and slice them as thin as you can. Into a pan goes in 2 tablespoons of butter. Allow this to melt and then add in your sliced mushrooms. A little bit of seasoning for flavor, and then allow your shrooms to brown and release all of their moisture. Once the liquid has evaporated, add in 3 cloves of fresh garlic and give this a quick saute. We're now going to add in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and saute this till the flour is combined. This is going to help thicken up our soup. And now it's time to take this to the next level with about 2 shots worth of cognac. Light this one on fire using a burner and take a couple of steps back. But do not worry, the flame will die off as the alcohol cooks off, and you're just left with the pure flavor and goodness of the cognac. Once the flame dies, we're going in with 1 cup of heavy cream, and then give this a stir, followed by half a cup of chicken stock for added flavor. Cook this till the cream and stock reduce by half and you have your perfect mushroom soup. I have 2 pounds of green beans and I'm going to chop into halves and then give it a quick dip in boiling water for not a second more than 2 minutes, after which we're going to immediately transfer it into a bowl filled with ice water to stop them from cooking any further and wilting. It's important you have your ice pot ready to go. While our beans cool down, let's generally rub a casserole dish with butter. Once your beans have been cooled down, transfer them into a large bowl enough for mixing. Using a paper towel, give them a quick pat and then add in your mushroom soup and a handful of our fried onions. Season your beans with some kosher salt and black pepper and then give this a thorough mix to combine. Transfer your beans into your casserole dish and then cover with the foil and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes and now we're going to uncover the dish and place the rest of our fried onions all over the top, and this goes back in the oven uncovered for another 10 minutes. And there you have it, the 4 sides that belong to every Thanksgiving dinner table. On behalf of us at Spoonfeed, we do wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. If you did like this video, we would be extremely grateful if you could hit that like button for us and subscribe to our channel. See you on the next one.